everyone, welcome to Leka Treat and thank you so much for being here. So in today's video we are going to make a very delicious Ghanaian delicacy known as Palmnut soup. In our local language we call it abenkwai, and I know that Nigerians also love to enjoy palmnut soup and they call it Banga soup. So today we have very basic ingredients that you normally find in palmnut soup in Ghana. We do not need much. We have here, of course, our palm nut base. In Ghana, normally you get the palm fruit, you boil it, you pound it, and then you separate the puree. I'll put it there. The food. You separate the juice that comes out of it from the chaff and also the kernel, the palm kernel. So that is what we are going to use. We have the palm nut base. This is a canned one, and this is a popular brand. This is from Inkulenu. You'll normally find this in African stores and some Asian stores as well. But all you need to find is palm nut soup base or palm fruit base. So they've done all the work for us. We don't have to do any cooking and pounding, you know, everything is done. And over here I have some beef. This is about 1 kilogram of beef, and I have some crabs as well. We'll be representing it. I've already washed the crabs and the beef. And what is palm nut soup without cow feet? Yes, we have some cow feet representing here. We call this kotoje. Kotoje in Ghana. We have this as well, and then we have some mushrooms as well. We also have, yes, freshwater fish. So we have this freshwater fish here, and it is the head of the freshwater fish. It gives you a very nice flavor when you are making your palmnut soup. So we have this. It looks so delicious. It's smoked, and of course we have some smoked mackerel, and this right here we call it kako. It's like a stockfish. It's super delicious. You are going to enjoy it. It's going to give it a very nice flavor, and it's not just going to be just the palmnut, but it's going to give it a very distinct but unique and delicious taste. And of course, when it comes to our vegetables, we have some onions here. I have 3 onions. I have some ginger. You'll think that this ginger is a lot. It's not a lot. Palmnut soup requires a lot of ginger, and you'll know why if you try my recipe. You need a lot of ginger for it. We also have our garlic here, and we have our pepper. We are going to blend this and use about 3/4 of the quantity of what we've blended to start our soup, and the other 1/4 we are going to add to our soup when it's about to get cooked. And this gives it a very nice taste. It adds freshness to our soup, and this is something my mom taught me. Whenever I'm making palmnut soup, I need to add my ginger onion paste to the soup right before the soup is cooked, so that it gives it a fresh kick, you know. It tastes really delicious. And of course we have some tomatoes here. You can decide to add about just half a teaspoon or a teaspoon of tin tomato paste to it, but you can just go with your tomatoes for your palmnut soup. For our spices, the only spice I'm going to use is this beef stock. I'm going to add it to season our soup, and of course some salt to taste. I'll be adding maybe some, you know, bakpashito, and of course please do well to also include some okra and garden eggs. It depends on how you want it. You can just make this recipe according to your taste. So I know you are going to enjoy this. Let's get started and making our palmnut soup. It's important to cook the cow feet aside so that it softens up a bit before you introduce it into your soup. This has already been washed very well. And then I'm going to be adding a bit of this beef stock. So just a teaspoon of that is fine. It's going to come back into our soup. So you can cook this on high heat. We want it to soften up a bit before we bring it into the soup. So now that we are done blending our ingredients, we are going to season our beef with about 3/4 of the blended ingredients. And as I mentioned earlier, we are going to leave the remaining 1/4 for later. Next, we'll be adding our Knorr beef stock and some salt to taste. So for this soup, I'm just using 2 teaspoons of the Knorr beef stock and then salt according to my taste. We'll mix everything well together, cover it up and allow it to season for some time, and we'll check on our cow feet. So our cow feet is done. It's not soft, it's not well cooked, but at this point we can begin our soup with it because it's going to stay in the soup for the entire cooking duration of the soup. And by the point or at the time that the soup is done, it will be soft enough to have a good bite and chew of it. We'll mix everything well together and then we turn on our heat. So I'm going to start on medium heat. And yes, as you can see, I added a bit of water. We'll be covering this up and allow it to season and simmer for some time before we proceed. But not so quick, we'll be adding our stockfish to it. I want this to soften up so much to the point that, you know, it disintegrates into our soup. In Ghana, if you are in Ghana, you can use momone. And this is a type of cured fish. That is the perfect type of fish to use for your soup, and just a little bit goes a long way. So a few minutes after cooking our beef and our cow food, we added our crabs to have it cooked for some time, and then we are going to take it out because it cannot last the entire cooking duration. It's going to be too soft. So we are going to set it aside, and when our soup is almost done, we'll bring it back into our soup. So this is how our crabs are looking like. Next, we'll be adding our tomatoes and continue the cooking process. Our tomatoes are perfect for blending. We'll take it out, blend it up, and bring it back into our soup. Next, I'll be adding a heaped tablespoon of tomato paste to my soup. And yes, this is a large pot of soup that I'm making. It's about 11 liters of soup. So you can imagine, yes, we are going to enjoy this. After adding our blended tomatoes and water, it is time to bring in our Nkulenu Palmnut soup base. And this is how it looks. It's already blended. You don't have to do any work. You just add it to your soup and allow it to do the work. It's going to boil, and then get cooked. So our soup has been boiling for some time. Just look at how it is. And we'll be introducing our fish into the soup. We are starting with the freshwater fish. So this is smoked already. It's quite hard. And I always keep my fish in my freezer. I keep it refrigerated. And that is the reason why I introduce it quite early. If you have frozen fish you are using for soup, please do not defrost it. Just rinse it up and then bring it into your soup. And yes, it's not going to separate. It's not going to get disintegrated. Next, we'll be adding our crabs and then our smoked mackerel into the soup. And this is the perfect timing for us to introduce our ginger garlic onion paste. Yes, another alternative is just adding blended ginger. It tastes so good as well. So adding the paste at this time when our soup is almost cooked is going to add a fresh kick to our soup. It's going to bring freshness to it and it's going to elevate the taste. You know, you're going to enjoy this so much. So we are going to cook our soup until the foamy film disappears, and that is a good indication to let you know that your soup is well cooked. So let's do a quick roll call of all our meat and fish and crabs. Our cow food, everything is representing. But yes, at this point, whenever you are mixing your soup, you need to be very, very gentle so that you do not break your fish apart. Next, we'll be adding our mushrooms. You know, mushroom doesn't take too much time to get cooked. We'll also be adding our pakoshito to give it a hot kick in case you want to have it, you know, more spicier than it is. You have that in there as an option. So palmnut soup can be enjoyed with fufu, with banku, with rice. Today we are going to enjoy it with some plantain fufu, and Papa is helping us out making it for us. So as you can tell over here, our soup is done and we are waiting to enjoy it. So it's time to enjoy it. Our fufu is all done, but just look at the amount of palm oil that we have on top of our soup. I'm going to scoop that. Please do not throw this away. It is super flavorful palm nut oil that you can use for your stew. So this right there goes very, very well with beans stew, with palava sauce. I used mine for bean stew and the taste was so divine. Just look at how delicious and wholesome our food is looking. Our soup is on point, our fufu is on point, and yes, I'm going to try it for all of us. This right here gives you a taste of home. It gives you a taste of Ghana. Imagine having this on a hot sunny day with a chilled bottle of Coke or malt. My goodness, you are going to enjoy this. It's winter here, but all the same, we enjoyed it. So as you can tell, everything came out perfect. Our beef is soft enough to chew. Look at our cow food. Yes, the bone is off. That's a good indication for me. It's soft enough to have a bite of it and a great chew as well. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you give this recipe a try and also give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Share and subscribe. As always, simple, easy, lekker. Bye!